Good evening. It's Facebook Love. How are you? A beautiful day. I have been outside for 5 hours straight. Every year, Mother's Day weekend, either the day before or the day of, we go and get annual flowers and plant the pots. We have maybe eight great big pots, and then I don't really do little ones. So it's a big project going and getting all the plants and making sure that what you bought all goes together and then bringing it home. And I'm very tired and very happy. And after this week of feeling really out of sorts, I needed it. So, yeah. A poem was brought to my attention early today by T.S.Elliott, who's one of my favorites. He often wrote pretty grim stuff between the wars. He was a very observant writer about what the Industrial Revolution was doing to the world and how things had been changing. And we are in the midst of such a big change. This pandemic is affecting the entire earth. It's making us look at everything differently. And he wrote a poem called The Journey of the Magi. A little background. The Magi are also often known as the three kings who went to visit the newborn baby Jesus, who by some was recognized as the Messiah come to the world to save the world. I'm personally a Christian, and I love the story of the Magi. There's a lot of layers. Apparently before they found the baby in Bethlehem, they stopped and visited King Herod out of respect, and Herod had already heard, but then to hear from these wise men or kings, whatever you prefer to see them as, he told them that he wanted them to come back and say where they had found this young king, but the Magi went home another way, having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, who turned out to be murderous and destroyed all of the newborn sons 2 years old and younger after learning of this baby. So there are many layers. So this is a poem that T.S. Eliot wrote, which I think speaks strongly to what's going on right now. The Journey of the Magi, and if you'll forgive me, my middle-aged glasses, because this font isn't very big. A cold coming we had of it, just the worst time of the year for a journey, and such a long journey, the ways deep and the weather sharp, the very dead of winter, and the camels galled, sore-footed, refractory, lying down in the melting snow. There were times we regretted the summer palaces on slopes, the terraces and the silken girls bringing sherbet. Then the camel men cursing and grumbling and running away and wanting their liquor and women, and the night fires going out and the lack of shelters, and the cities hostile and the towns unfriendly, and the villages dirty, and charging high prices. A hard time we had of it. At the end, we preferred to travel all night, sleeping in snatches, with the voices singing in our ears, saying that this was all folly. Then at dawn we came down to a temperate valley, wet, below the snow line, smelling of vegetation, with a running stream and a watermill beating the darkness, and 3 trees on the low sky, and an old white horse galloped away in the meadow. Then we came to a tavern with vine leaves over the lintel, 6 hands at an open door, dicing for pieces of silver, and feet kicking the empty wineskins. But there was no information, and so we continued, and arrived at evening not a moment too soon. Finding the place, it was, you might say, satisfactory. All this was a long time ago, I remember, and I would do it again, but set down this. Were we led all that way for birth or death? There was a birth, certainly. We had evidence, and no doubt. I had seen birth and death, but had thought they were different. This birth was hard and bitter agony for us, like death, our death. We returned to our places, these kingdoms, but no longer at ease here in the old dispensation, with an alien people clutching their gods. I should be glad of another death. The Journey of the Magi by T.S.Elliott. I think what they're talking about is that once they saw this baby who was supposed to bring a whole new world, a new way of seeing, a new way of accepting what creation has to teach us, who our Creator is. The story is they came from pagan kingdoms, and they couldn't feel part of that anymore because something new had come. And when our understanding changes, it's hard to go back. So I'm thinking a lot about that. I'm thinking about what is being born. What are we doing? What are we part of right now? If I don't see you tomorrow, if Mother's Day gets very busy, happy Mother's Day. Happy everybody has a Mother's Day. This is Facebook Love. I'll see you soon. Bye.